So we've all heard it before. Dopamine detox. Oh, you're gonna go on dopamine detox, have this insane transformation, and then you can work forever. And then you can work on your business finally. Without having all that dopamine in your brain, all those TikToks, all those video games, all those porn addictions. Once you've done the detox, you can work for a good week or so, and then maybe you have to do a dopamine detox again. But they never tell you how to stay dopamine detoxed. They never tell you how to prolong that dopamine detoxed effect for a longer time, so that you don't have to do it every once in a while, so that you can do it once, one dopamine detox, very long time, and then maybe another one. But chances are, if you perfect everything I talk about in this video, if you do absolutely everything and continue on your journey of self-improvement, I guarantee you, you may not even need to do a dopamine detox anymore. Now, I'm making this video because I believe that most young men can't even sit down for an hour straight to do a bout of work. And this probably isn't even their fault if you think about it. It's probably the fault of them just being unwise, unknowledgeable about the many productivity hacks out there, about how to actually work in a fun way, to bring more enthusiasm to the table when you're working. So this video is going to outline a bunch of different tactics and rules, literal rules to have that will make a life or death situation of whether you want to work or not. And so partly the reason why I think young men can't sit down to do literally just an hour of arduous work is the education system. For not teaching us how to do their homework. For them just giving you the homework, and maybe even occasionally, you know, when you gather your whole year group into this assembly, and then they talk about ways to work harder, intrinsic motivation. That is all sort of watered down pussy shit in my eyes. It never really helped anyone. Not even the nerds, I don't think. That advice was sort of just there to say that they've tried to help us. Another thing that probably hinders all these young men's minds from working, straight up just working, is probably social media companies. These billion-dollar social media companies that quite literally make you their product. Your attention is their currency. For all of those businesses paying them ads, paying them for ads, paying Facebook to get their content and ads in front of your eyes. You are the product. And the side effect of being the product is a drastic change in your attention span, your presence, your ability to focus straight ahead without getting distracted with these mind wanders, all of these different things in your mind, thinking about something else. These companies have programmed you in a way to be just this attention product. You can think about this in a more demonic and sinister way by thinking that these algorithms are sort of designed to shape you in a way. They're designed to shape you into a perfect human individual that makes money and gives attention. Makes a little bit of money on the side to survive, right? And gives attention. And I believe these two come in tandem together. The education system for making you into just surviving, right? The education system, most people anyways, if you become a doctor from the education system, that's highly admirable, amazing, you've done well. But for most people going through the education system, school, college, university, then they come out and work a comfortable job. It's never really above. They don't really gain anything above. They can't go on drastic holidays. They don't have the freedoms. They don't have the financial freedom, location freedom, whatever, right? And so when they make you this comfortable adult, right? where you just go work and have literally only a few dollars, few pounds left at the end of the month after working your job. Literally breaking even, but with a little bit more. And worst case scenario and most case scenario, it's literally just break even. Then these social media companies come in because you've been sort of sucked out. Your soul hasn't been nourished with these jobs. Your soul has been sort of damaged in a way, and you feel a lack of things. You feel a lack of intimacy, porn. You feel a lack of progression, fulfilling progression. Anyways, you can have progression in your corporate structure, right? But a lack of real fulfilling progression that your heart wants, that your brain wants, that you are here to do, your purpose basically. Video games. A lack of friendship, or I guess you could say social life. Every single social media there has ever been. Watching these TV shows, watching these movies. Movies is sort of like a friend and a progress thing, right? But these two things come in tandem. And so this video, I'm going to make work, hear this right, I'm going to make work more fun than any anime, any movie, any porn, any video game. So that you can finally for once, and maybe after maybe like a year or so, but a few years or a few months, depending on where you are on this journey, right, can finally get ahead, support your family, retire your mum that's been working so hard and for so long just to wait for you to break through and finally provide for her so that she doesn't have to work anymore and can go pursue some more purposeful things for her and more enjoyable things like gardening, like sewing or whatever, like cooking. This video, if you fully get all of these tactics to make you love your work, I believe that you can bring so much enthusiasm to this table, this workstation, that you outwork every single other person there is in your domain, in your industry, just by having fun, just by walking. You know, there's a saying, I won't make this too long, right, but there is a saying that the man who loves walking will always walk further, and probably faster as well, than the guy who's just walking for a goal. Now, there's three important things to understand before we get into this video, and the first is there will be a lot of value and a lot of epiphanies in this video, a lot of things that make your mind think, a lot of jaw-dropping things. At least I believe so. At least I believe if I heard this shit when I was a beginner, I'd probably be really happy. And so the best way to learn all of this shit, to fully incorporate this shit, is to take it slowly, take it one at a time. So let's say you hear a quick tactic for you to try and another one, don't go trying two at the same time. Try to have the rule of one advice per day. Try to, whether it's a social tip or a mental tip that I'm going to give you, try to implement it one per day, one advice per day, so that you can fully ingrain this into your brain slowly and properly. Number two is flow. Now, why I put flow in here is flow state is this sort of productive state you get in when you sit your ass down and actually work. But the important thing here, the really, really important and juicy detail here, that honestly, if I knew this from the beginning when I was trying to do fucking homework when I was like 12 or some shit, I would have succeeded so fucking far. And the saying is, flow takes you about 20 minutes to get into. This flow state that basically allows you to get into like 1 or 2 hours of pure focused, insane, hyper focused, amazing, limitless movie type of focus. But you have to suffer a little bit for 20 minutes. It works like this, right? There's four phases of flow. Number 1 is struggle, and then number 2 is release. Number 3 is finally flow, and then number 4 is something else. It's like relaxation, release or some shit. It's recovery. Yeah, that's the fourth one. So basically, just having this rule in your mind that yes, it's going to suck for maybe 20 minutes or so getting into your work. It's gonna suck. You're gonna want to leave. You're gonna want to check your social media. You're gonna want to check Facebook. You're gonna want to check everything, your messages, whatever. Your brain's gonna feed you multiple different distractions. Oh, should I go downstairs? Oh, I need a piss. I need to go downstairs. But if you can stick through the 20 minutes of struggle, and that struggle is good, by the way. Don't dismiss it, right? It's this is my bro science way of explaining it, but essentially all of those stress chemicals, the cortisol, the whatever that goes into your brain at that point that makes you feel shit, it's all to prepare you for a big work bout. It's all preparations. Your mind is probably burning as well, right? And that's just your mind gathering all the info from everything you've looked at so far to fully break into release, break into that flow ready. And so don't take that as a bad thing. Just be wary and be mindful of the 20 minutes of struggle. And number 3 is, I believe that happiness in work, enjoying your work, having this amazing, fulfilling feeling in your work, it's all really down. If you want the best, the most insane feeling whilst working and after working, if you want the best dopamine hit, if you want the best happy feeling in your mind, I believe it's not just work you have to think about. I believe it's accomplishing an overall plethora of challenges you set yourself, whether that's conscious, whether you set yourself, oh, today I'm going to do this, or whether it's subconscious. You know you're supposed to do something. You know you're supposed to hop in that cold shower. You know you're supposed to go on that morning run, but you don't do it. It's really about winning in all sectors, and then you can win super fucking hard in your work because you have this overall winner effect that carries out a couple of days. If you keep on winning in everything, it's just winning, and then you just love your work so much. You love life, and then that just makes your attitude when you're working, the attitude you approach your work with, so much fucking better. So it is my firm belief that you have to win in social areas. So have a strong group of friends, have a good friend you can rely on. Win in romantic areas, so practice or just talk, right? Just have incremental wins. Just talk to these women, right? Just they're normal humans, right? I'll make a video for you in the future about this shit, but now these things may not apply to you, especially like the romantic part, right? This has only really come to me in these recent few days and weeks. If I were to go back a year or so now, I would not give a fucking shit about romantic. I would just be grinding away. But unfortunately, now that I've sort of gone another layer of purpose, if you get what I mean. I've sort of gone, this is my purpose, right? To work and then fulfill something deep, to work and get financial freedom, free of the system, right? But I think I've put another purpose layer on there, and that is some romantic thing. And whether that makes sense to you or not, it will come for you in time. Essentially, winning physically, having a nice body, and disciplining yourself to go to the gym, even when you don't feel like going to the gym. Work-wise, accomplishing all the things you set yourself for the day, or at least working so hard that you feel drained and tired and you actually do the work. It's not just being busy, right? It's not just being busy and feeling like you've been so busy through the day, you've done so much, but feeling like you've actually done nothing deep inside. Not that. You want to have a fulfilling work session. You want to feel like you've done everything efficiently and you've done the most you actually can. Now, I've divided the advice in this video to 4 parts. 4 major parts to make this more easy for you. And the first part is mental rules for a constant winner effect. These rules, if you can try to stick to them like 90% of the time, you obviously can't stick to them 100% of the time. You'll fail here and there, right? So number 1 is breaking the walls of resistance. Whether it's physically, socially or work-wise. If you can just break these walls of resistance, whenever, the best way to explain this is through the gym, right? Let's say today you're supposed to go to the gym, your friend cancels for some reason, it sort of drops your motivation to go to the gym a little bit. But you have to break through this wall. You don't want to go to the gym as much anymore. And maybe it's starting to take a toll on your mind. Oh, it's fine, but it's so warm in this house. Oh, if I go to the gym right now, it wouldn't be effective because I'm tired. But you have to break through the wall. And once you break through the wall and you have that gym workout, you walk home a fucking winner. You feel like you're on top of the world when you walk back home after struggling all your way to the gym. Now, socially, this can literally just be talking to a guy you've been like doing this to, right? Just some random strange guy that you sort of know, but you don't really talk to him much. That can literally be your social thing. Just expanding your socials a little bit more. Or maybe you can study deep into how to strengthen the bond with your current brotherhood. And romantically, obviously, it's a whole fucking topic. It's a whole other topic. I wish I had a giant video covering this shit, but honestly, bro, it's around the same thing as socially. You just have to say the first word and then it's all that much easier. Now, work-wise, it's a lot of different things. It's like the flow thing. It's like getting through the 20 minutes of struggle flow. That can be your wall of resistance for work, right? And it can even be just starting. It can literally be anything in work. And I'm going to cover a lot of different tips later in the video on how to break these walls. But essentially, the fastest tip I can give you here, right, is start small. For this specific tip, how to do it, start small. Start really, really small on a small wall of resistance. Get a win. And then that will hopefully, most of the time, bring you a good momentum. Bring you a deep, motivating momentum to keep on breaking walls of resistance. Now, number 2 is never force it on the emotional side. Never force the inner stuff. You can force the physical side, sure. You can be like, oh, I'm going to go gym. If I can walk, I can go to the gym. I'm going gym now. You can force the physical side and you can beat your body up pretty fucking bad. But maybe not inner. Maybe not inner, mental, emotional. You can't really do that because it sort of backlashes. From my own experience, and I'll link you a great video on this, and it's called like the subtle art of not giving a fuck. It's by the guy who wrote Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? And the way to actually find happiness, I'll just tell you a quick story. I had this extreme bitter feeling for a good couple of weeks in my heart, and it honestly sucked. I would not want to go back there ever, and it sucks so fucking bad. And the way I sort of recover from it, and one of the ways, right, there's a whole bunch of shit I use to recover from that and get back to a state of constant happiness. One of the most effective things is just detaching and letting go. Fully getting away from the thing. Stop searching for this happiness. Oh, I'm feeling shit today. I gotta be happy. I'm gonna do this and it's gonna make me happy. But by doing that, you sort of highlight everything that is sad. And you, by saying, when I do this, I'm going to be happy. And it doesn't bring as much happiness as your brain hoped. It'll make you sadder because it went under the expectations. And so that's just going to make you go down a downward spiral rabbit hole of complete fucking disgusting depression. And number 3 is winning in most of the challenges you set yourself consciously and subconsciously. For me, socially and work-wise hits the best. It hits the most and provides me the most winner effect. And as a general rule here, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the wall, the better the reward. The better the dopamine feeling, the better the happiness, the bigger amount of happiness you get. And so how do you win in these challenges? How do you win in these conscious and subconscious challenges? Work-wise, it's really just about the main thing, right, is just your diet. Make sure you're not eating a bunch of carbs before you work. And also make sure to be wary of the flow phases. Make sure to be wary of the struggle phase that takes about 20 minutes to get past. And socially, you have to be the initiator. You have to be the first guy that says something. For example, if you're on a table of lots of different people that are sort of strangers to each other, you have to be the guy that says something first. You have to be the icebreaker, and people will respect you for that. And people will come, like, they will literally be naturally attracted to you and come towards your table because they know that when they're with you, discomfort is decreased and comfort is increased. So they will come to you because you break the ice. And if you can build a reputation of being the icebreaker and giving good ideas, that because you're completely relaxed, right? Just imagine you're completely relaxed in a table of complete strangers. You'll be able to generate these subconscious thoughts. The subconscious brain will give you these amazing thoughts that, honestly, if you say them out loud, most of the time you'll get a good response from them. People will love, people will be interested in you, and maybe even people will be romantically interested in you because you just let your brain be relaxed. Your complete nervous system is relaxed, and you let your subconscious brain generate these thoughts. You say them out loud and be the initiator. And to win really women and men and just anyone over is having the mindset, I'm not going to get anything from this. I'm just here to have fun. Because I made this mistake when I went into a classroom, right? And I really wanted to practice my social skills and I really wanted to get this girl, right? But I started failing. I started failing because I wanted something from her. I wanted to bring her. I wanted to be with her. I wanted to bring her, walk out with her in lesson. I wanted that. And that provided a bad negative mindset whenever that didn't happen. And so me literally coming to lesson, I'm not going to get anything. I'm just here to play and have fun. And then that is when the winning started happening. And then that is when I started walking out with her. Now, category 2 is rules for happiness. And the first rule is being disciplined. Now this, I know it's like sort of an intangible word. It's not really graspable. I have to explain a whole bunch of different things to make this make sense. Essentially, a good way to think about this is the reason why you are not acting, you are in inaction and not in action, is that you haven't really thought about the risk and the reward. You haven't thought about the punishment and the reward of it. What will it bring you to follow through with this discipline? And what will it bring you to not follow through with this discipline? I'll give you an example. So recently, I'll admit my failure here, right? Recently, whenever I make my dinner and then I sit down and then I put on some YouTube, some podcasts, I sort of just end up staying there. Even after I finish my dinner, I sort of end up just wanting to stay on the couch because it's nice and warm. And now that it's approaching winter, it's even harder to go take my cold shower, which is a big wall of resistance. Think about this, right? Get up from a warm couch with the television on, go out into the kitchen, cold, and take a cold shower. The best advice I can give you here for being disciplined is you just have to do it. You're gonna eventually do it anyways because it's gonna build up with your guilt, right? Your guilt. Oh, I missed it today. Oh, but today's not right. And then through all of those days that you missed, if you're like me, right, you will have built up this guilt feeling. Oh, I gotta repay back my debt. That there's an imbalance here within my emotions. And then you'll naturally do it on like the 7th day of fucking failing or whatever. And so the best thing you can do is think about the pleasure and the punishment of not doing this discipline thing and doing the discipline thing. And then chances are, when you really, really deeply think about it, you'll literally go and act it out. You'll literally be like, fuck this video, fuck this movie, fuck this TV series. I don't want to finish it anymore. Fuck finishing it. I'm not gonna finish it. I'm never gonna say just one more, just one more episode, just one more video ever again. Because I thought about this, deeply thought about it. And I'll give you another example from myself, right? It's at night and I'm sitting there, and once again, I finished my dinner and it's beginning to happen again. And the television is on, and there's this thought in the back of my brain that doesn't leave. It doesn't leave because it wants me to go and do my discipline thing. It wants me to go and do my night routine, which is taking a cold shower first and then doing a bunch of other stuff. And my brain doesn't want to do that. It wants to stay here in the comfort. But I know subconsciously that that would not be a good idea at all. In fact, this is one of the causes for my bitter, depressing feeling in the middle of my heart here. The surprising thing was, as soon as I got up and did some house chores, some dishes, some clothes stuff, some cleaning up the place after I've cooked, and the feelings began to subside. It has begun to literally start going away. Whereas if I just sat there, it would have stayed. It would have gone increasingly more depressing. And number 2 is earning the meal. The concept of earning the meal. And what this is basically, it would be a bad idea to eat straight up and then go work. This is like a sort of caveman thing, if you think about it. If you've never tried this, I can understand why you don't think this makes sense, but it's sort of like a ancestral primate brain type of thing. It's like you have to do a little bit of a difficult task first to make the meal taste better. It's, you know, the old saying of like you go do some hard manual labor, maybe work in the factory or fucking go lumberjack a forest, and then you come back home to your wife's amazing cooking bacon and eggs. Oof, that is a good meal. Instead of you making a couple of eggs and then going to chop the wood. So it's basically just the concept of earning the meal. And how you can do this is just set a couple of hours before your first meal of the day. So your breakfast or your lunch. In which case I skip breakfast entirely. I just have lunch. Because honestly speaking, bro, humans are not built to eat 3 meals per day. It's not really suitable for our hunter-gatherer bodies. We still have a hunter-gatherer body, believe it or not. So essentially just set like 3 or 4 hours before your first meal of the day to contribute to work, and make sure that work is really, really fulfilling. And then once you eat the meal, chances are the meal will be so fucking delicious, so much more delicious than if you were to just wake up, go make the meal, and then work. Now the third thing is silence and default modes. Now what this means is having a time where sort of your body is still, or maybe your body's on autopilot and your mind can think freely. The default mode is basically like when you're in a shower. When you're in a shower thoughts, you get it, shower thoughts. And maybe you're on a walk when you're walking to school, walking back from the gym. And these default modes bring you a lot of things. They clear your mind. They declutter your mind, basically. If you're stuck from a recent thing, a social interaction that went wrong, just do this. Just go on a walk. Just go take more showers. In fact, Elon Musk loves doing this. Elon Musk loves showers because it gives him the best thoughts like ever. It gives him insane thoughts because it's his default mode. It's when his brain is fully relaxed after like a big bout of thinking hard, and then that's usually when your brain strikes you with an answer. Let's say you've been working really hard at a project, you can't find an answer, you can't find the perfect model. Go in that shower and it hits you at the least expected moment where your thought should come to you. Usually in the movies they portray this as I'm work, I'm planning the project, and then it hits, right? But it never really works like that, at least for Einstein or whatever, fucking Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, maybe. But generally speaking, for all of these smart people with brilliant ideas, they all love to do these default modes, whether it's literally swimming, going literally to the gym and working on the sets, running on the treadmill, running, walking. All of these things, they provide you with thoughts. It lets your brain cook, basically. And it gives you amazing thoughts, and it gives you time to declutter a situation. So how do you actually go about getting more default modes and more silence time for your brain to declutter and give you the best answers that don't really come from online at all? Most of the answers can be found within yourself. So that sounds like some weird spiritual shit, but the way to do it is have occasionally some times where you don't listen to anything. So, for example, if you're cooking and you usually put on a podcast, then just have some times where you don't have a podcast on, and then your brain cooks whilst you're cooking. Occasionally, when you find yourself wanting to be distracted, as in you want to pull up your phone and scroll through Google or your fucking photo album because you've deleted every single social media app on your phone, just try and sit there in silence. Whether it's your mum going down to pick up something and you're just left alone in the car, just try to sit there in silence. And chances are, if you're like super poisoned in the brain, you're super dopamine filled, you love TikTok, you love video games, if you're super poisoned, chances are you'll feel this burn in the brain. You'll feel this burn here, just telling you to grab the phone and relieve it. At least that's what I felt when I was heavily intoxicated by TikTok. I would literally, if you see like down there, right? If you see there, yeah. I literally sit there for hours scrolling on TikTok. Once upon a time in my life, I would sit there and do literal like 4 hours of TikTok, and it would go by so fucking fast. It's insane, the transformation I've made. And so basically I just did, every time my mum went down to get something, I was left alone in the car for like a solid 20 minutes straight. I would just sit there and burn my brain back to normal function, back to normal health. It almost felt like I was fighting against this virus, and I finally fucking won after maybe a few weeks of doing this. And I became dopamine detoxed. Now we move on to the third category, and this is the tips for an enthusiastic work bout. This section will be specifically towards all the things you can do, all of the tips and tricks you can do to make your work more efficient and more enjoyable, less friction to work, basically. And so number one is batching. Batching is honestly the best use case for it for me right now in life is literally for homework. So I'm now in college, right? And I use this method so fucking well because there's this there are oftentimes these long breaks in my college life, in my college schedule routine, right? Where literally there's a lesson, long break, and then lesson. And what I do here is I never do homework at home. I always do homework at school. Even if my brain's completely dumb from that lesson, if it's completely fucking exhausted, I force my way through the homework. And chances are, because I'm so far into self-improvement, I'm so far into meditation, so far into all of these productivity and focus hacks, that honestly, me literally forcing myself through this work, it ends up better than other people's homework anyways, because I'm just so fucking built different. At least I've built myself different, right? And so essentially, if you hate homework like me, absolutely hate it. You want nothing to do with it. Like, let's say you're working on your own projects, you're having fun, whatever, right? You don't want to do the homework, but then you do it, and it ruins your day, basically. This is what I'm trying to say. You have a good work back in the morning of your own work, and then you do the work of school. It ruins your day so fucking potently. And so essentially, the best hack here is just try to cram it all at school, and then if you're on self-improvement for a long time, chances are your homework will still be better than those who do it at home, because they're probably like fucking snacking. I'm gonna a social media break. let's put on some Netflix while I'm doing my homework, put on some music. Those kids, me and you, those kids, different species. But a way to incorporate batching in another sense with your own work and whatever. It's just about noticing the small things. Every time, just ask yourself, can this be more efficient? Can I batch it all together? Perhaps if you're a YouTuber like me, can I script everything in one day? Can I record a bunch of videos at a single time and edit it all at once? Can I just batch it all together so that I can use the power of momentum, so that I don't have to task switch and literally drain my brain, so I can literally stay on one task for a very, very long time and have a lot more done. So the next time you do something, can this be more efficient? When you're washing dishes, can I do any other house chores to free me of this for like a good couple of days? Can I do that? Now the second thing is work when you work, relax when you relax. Now this is sort of in tangent, I'm not sure what the word is, but it's sort of similar to the saying, work hard, play hard. But what I really mean by this is we have to stop the interruptions. There was a period in my life where I just kept on getting interrupted. A good couple of days of solid interruptions. But it was literally going downstairs to use the toilet, whether it was, oh, I need a coffee, whether it was checking social media, whether it was your family, or in my case, my mum calling me down for something. And this is so bad because it breaks you out of flow. The thing I talked about at the beginning, right? The three important things, the flow state, the four phases. Fuck, that was three, my bad. The four phases of flow. If you keep on getting interrupted, you'll keep on resetting your flow phases. And when you reset your flow phases, guess what happened? You go through the struggle phase again, and again. And then that frustration of feeling like shit when you work for hours upon end will make you have a more shit work bout because you're frustrated alongside this constant struggle phase, and then you'll just altogether quit the work in frustration. So how do you go about solving this? Now, the first thing to do here is to identify every single thing that makes you out of focus, that is a distraction basically. Either get a Notion page, an online note-taking page, or just get a piece of paper and note down every single thing that you can think of that distracts you. Whether it's your mum, whether it's you needing a piss. And then once you have all of these things written down, we're going to make a solutions list. And this is basically just you thinking of ways on how to break through, how to stop these distractions from distracting you. So for example, if it's needing the toilet mid-work session, then you could probably say like, drink a bunch of water before the work session and then wait and then like stare at the sun, get some sunlight in, some vitamin D, drink some coffee as well, and then wait for the piss to come out, and then you're good. Go back upstairs, bring a new water bottle upstairs, and then you're good. Just take sips, ordinary sips, and then you should be fine. And then another thing where it's your mom distracting you or your family distracting you, you can simply just try and ask them to not distract you because you want to work and whatever. And chances are most of the time, right, most families will probably allow you to do that. They'd probably respect you if you truly communicate to them in a serious, mature way. Not like a child anymore, like a man. If you just talk to them serious, with effective communication. Now, number 3 is find the most happy and most enjoyable part of your work to do first. Now, this has been such a powerful tip for me these couple of days. Now, I used to think that recording was my most fulfilling piece of work ever in my whole entire YouTube video creation work session. Now, I used to think recording was my most fulfilling part of my work. And so I used to prioritize this recording session first thing every day in the morning. The first fucking thing. And it's unfortunate that it's not. Because apparently it is with the thumbnails. I love to make the thumbnails and I love to write the script for my video. I love it so much more than recording, but I do still like recording, but it's just, I enjoy that more. And if I do that first, I do all of the back end of the video, right? All of the scripting, all of the thumbnail making, all of the idea generation. If I do all of that first and then I record, it gives me a whole different attitude to recording. And so a way to find your most happy and fulfilling part of your work is you have to ask yourself what type of person you really are. Are you a creative person or a numbers person? Now, I can personally speak for the creative people because I am one. But if you're a numbers person, just look to people like Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozy, and those are the numbers people I can think of. But as for creative people, Alex Becker, me, and maybe some artists or whatever. Just if you're a numbers person, you'd like to do the analytical, the logical, the statistical, this times that equals, oh, we're gonna get this much this month. You love doing that, and chances are you may even like doing spreadsheets. But if you're a creative person like me and some other person like Alex Becker, you love to do the creative aspects. You love to use your creative part of your brain. You love to really make something perfect. It's like working on a piece of art or something. You just keep on adding to it until it feels perfect in your brain. And I get that the most from making thumbnails. Oh, this just doesn't look good. Or I made a tweak, it looks better, but it's still not there. And then once it's finally there, in my brain at least, I get this insane boost of happiness and fulfillment. And then when I bring that to the video, you can feel it in the video. In which case, if you're wondering if I've done that shit before this video, I'd have to say I hadn't. I didn't do it before this video because I finished everything yesterday and it is a big regret of mine. So maybe I have to do something like leave a little bit out, leave the thumbnail to last minute. Basically, the only thing you really have to ask yourself is, are you a creative person or a numbers person? And you can find more about this by asking yourself what TV character you relate to most, and what you were like when you were a child. What games did you like playing? Did you like Lego? Did you like building in Minecraft? What was your role in Minecraft? Were you the hunter-gatherer PvP guy, or were you the guy that just stayed behind chopping wood and building houses? Which guy were you? You can find a lot about yourself from just looking back at your history. And another way, the more rudimentary and sort of direct way to find your most happy part of your work is literally just trying to think, which part of my work makes me the most happy? And a good important thing here is try not to mix easy with happy. Try not to mix easy with fulfilling. So if something's super easy, you have to know the difference, man. You have to know the difference that something's just easy. You've done it, oh, it's okay now. That is easy. Whereas if something is fulfilling, you go like, oh, can this be better? Oh, it doesn't look right, I need to add more. That is the difference, at least for me. And you have to know that difference so that you don't end up being some like pussy that only does the easy shit first. Because there honestly is another rule in an old-fashioned book like this. Hold on. Like this. Eat the Frog. And essentially a rule in that book is you have to do the most difficult task first. And so honestly, if you don't know what your most fulfilling and most enjoyable task of the work is, you may be better off doing the difficult shit first. Now, the fourth thing is a frictionless work environment. Now, this is pretty common sense, right? But essentially, if you have an environment that is completely frictionless and easy to get into to work, then theoretically, you should be able to like working more. This is really just about increasing the friction, increasing the difficulty to go and indulge in bad things like social media, and decreasing the friction and making it super fucking easy to work. And this is like a fundamental tactic that's such like old-fashioned, and it just works, right? It's one of the first things I've ever discovered in productivity. So a way to do this is just make your work environment super clean and tidy, and also make it super accessible and inviting to go into. And then as for the social media and all the bad things, literally just delete them off your phone. I know there's a common consensus around deleting the apps on your phone, how it's not effective or whatever, right? But honestly, that is probably the best way to increase your friction and stop you from going on social media. Because literally every time, think about it, every time you have to go on social media or you get the urge, you think, oh shit, I have to re-download it, I have to re-log back in. For fuck's sake, it's so much work. I'd rather not do this. Now, let's cover some mistakes that will cost you depression, cost you your happiness and give you depression. Now, first mistake is working even when your brain is drained. So I'm sure you felt this feeling if you've done a good amount of work before in your life, whether it's homework, whether it's being disciplined at something, whether it's reading a book, whether it's just doing anything in general. When you feel your brain getting drained and the output is getting limited, right? It's not as sharp and effective as it once was at the beginning. The best thing you should do, in my opinion, right, what I do is immediately stop. Because apparently there is a rule. And I got this from this really smart guy called Rian Doris, and he's a part of Flow Collective Research. It's this whole productivity research collective on the flow state. And the saying goes, 1 hour of fresh brain state, whatever, equals four hours of depleted, like low energy brain state. So essentially, if you have a fresh brain, in 1 hour, you can do what a drained brain person can do in 4. And so the best thing you should do, honestly, I'll admit there is a wall of resistance here, right? Whenever you're working, oh, now I'm drained. You kind of, like, I notice from time to time, I sort of just want to keep on working. But you have to notice that your attention is wavering now. It's starting to waver, and you're getting more prone to going down rabbit holes of social media and maybe even worst case scenario, porn. And so the best thing you can do is take a cold shower and Wim Hof and do the Wim Hof breathing exercise. At least this is from me doing trial and error for like a good couple of months, right? On finding the best way to recover your brain and make it fresh again, like you just woke up. The best thing to this day, better than walks even, I'd argue, better than a 30-minute walk in nature, better than NSDR, non-sleep deep rest, better than any other breathing technique. It's cold showers paired with Wim Hof method. By far, it refreshes your brain so much. Honestly, it feels like you just woke up again. Obviously, you'll have slightly less output because your brain's been drained for like a good portion of the day. But trust me when I say this, you will feel so much better and you'll accomplish so much more in less time if you just fight and break down that wall of resistance to go reset your brain. Another thing that is really, really good in supporting this recovery of the brain, right, to reset yourself after work, is water and oxygen. You have to make sure you're hydrated. Drink lots and lots of water and breathe a lot. And honestly, the Wim Hof breathing method, it covers this because it's literally the most rudimentary way of getting more oxygen. It's literally you deeply breathing to your stomach and then to your chest for like 10 minutes straight, and then you'll feel like this nice sensation on the front of your forehead whenever you hold the breath, right? And honestly, it's insane, bro. It's literally the most rudimentary way of getting yourself back with oxygen, because after like 3 or 4 hours of working, you've probably been shallow breathing most of the time. And so a good way to get that oxygen back in your brain and reset it is through cold showers and the Wim Hof method. Now, number 2, the second mistake is getting your ability to work destroyed, or at least blocked off. if you get what I mean. So you can stop yourself from basically working at an efficient level for the rest of the day by just eating something extremely carby. Maybe it's a giant burger with a boatload of fries. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's croissants or whatever, a big plate of spaghetti. If you eat that like early in the morning and you inhibit your ability to work for the rest of the day, that has been by far the most depressing thing to me. Because think about it, if you're eating something processed or big carby refined thing, it's very hard for your body, as much as this sounds gross, right? It's very hard for your body to turn that into some fucking brown matter. Think about it, your hands can't even fucking do that. Your body has to take every nutrient from this highly refined, processed, chemicalized bun and carb thing to turn that into brown matter and try to get nutrients from that. Imagine how hard and how much energy that would have to take. Digestion is such a big part of your energy. So the best thing you can do, honestly, is just do the thing, earn the meal that I talked about in like a previous section. If I can, fuck's sake, I forgot what section it is, but you get what I mean, right? Just earn the meal again and just try your best to not fuck up your ability to work. Another thing that fucks up your ability to work is distractions. Once again, like distractions from your family down below or just your phone or whatever. There is a certain point where you just get distracted so much that it literally gets pointless. It literally throws you off so fucking much that you can't work anymore. Because think about it, you're resetting this flow state. You're resetting the flow state into struggle each time. So you're just going to be working in constant struggle and constant stress because you're getting interrupted by things like this. And number 3 is not following through or finishing. Now, I want to give you a disclaimer before this, and this is a mistake I've heavily made. How you do a thing in life is how you do everything in life. This is a concept from Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens is this insane entrepreneur that's honestly very, very smart, but he's got some strange behaviors, right? But the point is he's rich and he's smart. If you have your attitude to something as simple as, I don't know, cooking or watching a movie, that is how you will have your behavior at work or something. And essentially what my example is, I like to finish absolutely everything. And this can be detrimental, but it is a good overall habit. Overall, its ROI is amazing. But the bad sides about wanting to finish everything, I want to finish this movie. That is bad. But I want to finish this YouTube video. I want to finish everything. That is good to a certain degree until my brain gets absolutely fucking destroyed and it gets like fatigued, right, whatever, right? And I still want to finish it. And then that is the start of a bad rabbit hole. Because if you think about it, if your brain's too fatigued and you try to do work, you do the work anyways, you write a little bit more, it may turn up as more work for your future self to do. So maybe yourself tomorrow or maybe yourself after a brain break. It may turn out as something your future self has to clean up because you just sort of made a mess that's low quality or whatever because your brain was fatigued. But generally speaking, not following through or not finishing something to the brim and leaving it sort of, you don't feel fulfilled after doing it. It doesn't, it gives you this depressed feeling, at least from myself. And number 4 is not fulfilling your layers of purpose. Now, what this means is if you're not familiar with the term layers of purpose, right? It's essentially you have this core layer of purpose, which is what you're here on earth to do. And there's a bunch of shit on top, And it could be women, it could be social skills, it could be validation from other men, it could be work, it could be whatever, all of these layers. Now, I know this is a hard concept for you to grasp, and I honestly haven't grasped it myself entirely, but I have a vague idea. And the best way for me to explain this to you is through my own example. Essentially, I used to be okay with just working, just working, just working, just working. It was the most fun thing I've had in my entire life, just working. And this made me so fucking happy. Every day, I remember specifically, right? I would literally go downstairs, meet my mom, and say, oh, I love my work so much. I love my work so much. Oh my God. And honestly, having this feeling, right, of loving my work, it felt like if I had like 2 more weeks of having constantly this feeling and this amount of productivity from this feeling, this euphoric, limitless type of feeling, if I had 2 more weeks, I guarantee you I would have broken through the wall. I would have broken through the wall of making money. I would have started making like fucking 5K per month. I guarantee it. That is how good it felt. But that was not how it ended out. And now, from my own, like, just from me just thinking from the default states, right? If you've watched the whole video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. From getting a lot of default modes of just cooking and letting my brain cook as well, having long showers to think about things, and just letting my brain run in silence, right? It has given me a notion that I have a new layer of purpose on top of this. And this is why I'm not feeling as good from work anymore. It's because I need 2 things now. I need 2 things. One is a romantic interest. It's woman. I have a curiosity and an interest in learning all about the spiritual relationships, whether it's relationships with like everyday people, whether it's social, actually it's like social and relationship, romantic, whether it's romantic or not. I just want to learn more about it, spiritually wise, the masculine, feminine polarities. I just want to learn more about it. And I also want to learn more about how the way women work. And then in the future, I can have a brilliant relationship with my wife and like fucking loads of children on a nice farmhouse, whatever, right? And essentially, I believe that is on top now. And so now I have 2 things to fulfill. And honestly, that is a lot of work until I can finally get rid of this and then I'm back to working again. So anyways, this is another change of scenery. I'm so sorry. But as you can hear from the last clip, I did get interrupted. And that is the reason why I am feeling a little bit depressed right now. This, I don't want to throw around the term depressed lightly, right? But honestly, bro, it feels that way. And it's so ironic because I'm making a video on like how to get rid of distractions and anything, but then it just happens in the middle of the video that I get distracted, and I guess that proves as an example of how things work. But how you really recover from that, which is what I'm doing right now, how you recover from that is still work anyways. And then chances are tomorrow when you're editing your video, or tomorrow when you're like doing the thing again, when you're continuing it again, you'll probably feel that, oh yeah, I did some pretty good work yesterday. I made a good effort regardless of all the distractions, and now I get to finish it off. I think I've explained that brilliantly. Yeah. If you had a good idea of what your purpose was beforehand, so let's say it was work. This was the example I told you about, right? And you once upon a time had an amazing feeling from just doing this, but now it seems like it doesn't hit as much anymore. It still hits, right, if you get like a good few hours in, but it seems like it doesn't hit as bad and hit as good anymore. And maybe the reason behind that, this is just my theory, right, is because there is another thing on top. You're trying to puncture it all the way through and it's sort of getting through, but you kind of have to peel away this layer first. And I believe this layer for me is the spiritual relationship woman type of thing. I don't know what exactly to call it, but it's just venturing into the true relationship, how to have a relationship that doesn't fuck up, how to not have a degen relationship that you just keep on switching girlfriends, but instead a beautiful relationship that is just one-on-one forever. A beautiful relationship under the eyes of God. So I'm planning to do the deed after marriage. And honestly, I just want to have the best relationship possible with a woman that is like 1 in a billion or something. Apparently, another reason why I want to do the deed after marriage, right, is apparently you share your soul. You have soul ties with someone else when you like do the smash, right? Do the smash. Fuck me. Apparently you like split it, and then people get down rabbit holes of becoming a red pill fucking disgusting man whore, and that's just not what I want to go towards. I want a beautiful, harmonious relationship. Now, number 5 under the category of mistakes that will make you feel instantly depressed is staying in the comfort zone. Now, I'll link a video in the description on how to be confident. Now, there's multiple comfort zones, right? There's the comfort zone of your couch. You don't want to leave it and go take a cold shower or whatever. And then there's also comfort zones of social, man-to-man or man-to-woman. And obviously another comfort zone of sitting on your couch and going to the gym. And staying in these comfort zones, yes. I'll just note that this is my own experience again. But I think it'll give you a good outline on what you're really feeling, I guess, if you're anything like me. So staying in your comfort zone, it's odd because you feel the comfort of being in the comfort zone, right? It feels warm and fuzzy, right? But there's this underlying bitter feeling underneath that comfort fuzzy feeling, and also a thought in the back of your brain to tell you to move. And the more you stay in this comfort zone, so a good example of this is staying on a couch and just watching this documentary or whatever, just keep on watching it, don't want to go shower, don't want to do my night routine. Staying in that comfort zone, it'll inch by inch get worse, progressively worse, progressively worse, progressively worse. The feeling of bitterness in sort of this region, right? And the longer you stay in there, the worse it gets. But you have to know that once you get out of the comfort zone, it's still gonna hurt a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, right? Once you take this is the best way to explain it. Once you get off the couch, you walk, start doing the dishes, whatever, it will still hurt. But after maybe 3 or 4 minutes, you begin to feel normal again. The feeling will subside. And that, I believe, is very, very powerful. Just knowing the fact that, yes, that feeling can go away. And it only takes you some amount of courage, some amount of get off your ass. Now, how to open up and go out of your comfort zone socially? It's really about inching. It's inch by inch by inch by inch, working it up. You can work it up by honestly just smiling at people. Just saying, you're right. Or just, honestly, bro, it sounds so fucking basic and so rudimentary, right? But I honestly mark my words, this is literally what I used to do. Someone smile, right? Smiling at me. Yo, Benji. Smiling, right? I walk up, gloomy face, no emotion. Maybe even a frown. Yo. And from every single fucking social book, that is a red flag. You have to smile. Even if you don't particularly like the person, learn to smile. And once you do that, I promise you, I guarantee you, you feel this sort of humble superiority above them. If you super, super hate this person, but you still smile and treat them nice, you'll feel so fucking good. You feel like a leader. You feel like a true king that is wise and doesn't hate others. That is wise and all-knowing, all-seeing, this humble but at the top man. So you just have to smile, call them by their names, offer a handshake. Honestly, bro, you can start off by smiling. You can start off by saying hello. And then eventually inching away at their names. And then, bro, just another thing, right? Names are people's favorite word in the world. If
you were to combine all the names in the world and mash them up together, they would not give a shit. They'd rather hear their own name. It's such a powerful word. It's probably the person's favorite word, their own name. And so if you can inch by inch break the walls of resistance, maybe it's some guy that you nod your head to but you don't really speak to, you can go speak to him, and that's a way of breaking through the resistance. Another way to break through your comfort zone romantically is by, the best way to explain this is through a classroom or a group scenario. So the best way to break through romantically is to make your comfort zone bigger, if you will, so that the challenge, this dragon you have to face of talking to the woman you like, gets easier. Make the environment your place. And how you can do this is by slowly inching away at everyone in the room. There's this saying called flirting with the world. Most men apparently are just snipers and hitmen, that when they see an attractive girl, they go in straight away and try to talk to her. And with everyone else, they're just sort of insociable. But that doesn't really work. The best flirts and the best charismatic people are like fucking Russell Brand, Craig Ferguson. These people flirt with the world. They flirt with everyone, and flirt meaning, in their sense, being playful. Be playful with everyone. Grandma, child, man, woman. Be extremely playful with everyone, so that when you come across a attractive woman, you have the environment. You know everyone in the environment, and all of the walls with everyone in the environment, you know how to handle. You know them. You know what their reactions will be, and you know they won't fuck it up for you. And then it will be 10 times easier to talk to this woman because it's your environment. It's your domain. I guess the last one is a really small thing. It's the 6th point, and it's sleeping too much. If you oversleep, right, this is a very, very simple thing, and it makes sense. If you oversleep on your bed, I get it. I get sometimes if you feel completely fucked, like everything on the world is like standing on your shoulders and you feel squished down, like no one's there to save you. You kind of feel like you want a bigger brother to come along and encourage you and save you and support you and give you the tailored advice to save you from your situation. If you feel like that, I understand how you feel. That bed, oh my God, bro. In the morning, it's time to wake up, right? Your body naturally wakes up. You just want to sleep more. I get how you feel. I felt it before. You just toss and turn a few more minutes, and then by the time you finally wake up, 3 hours has gone by your normal bedtime. And so a good way to combat this, honestly, all I've written there is wake up at the same time every day. But now that I've like fully fucking thought about it, and I'm in the flow of words, yes, it's good to wake up the same time every single day, no matter what, like no matter whether you're getting 5 hours of sleep or whatever, just wake up the same time every day. But there is more to it, and I'm going to freestyle the advice right here, right now. If you have those types of thoughts, if you have these types of anxietal thoughts that make you don't want to get out from bed, a good way to have a better night's sleep and forget about all of that is start journaling. Start journaling. In fact, I have a page right here, right now, but I don't want to show you it because it's a little bit too recent, right? And people from my school watch my channel. So, because it's when it's stuck in your head, there's a billion things stuck in your head. At least it feels like that. But then as you journal it down, you can narrow it down to like 2 or 3 most of the time. And once you narrow down the problem down to 2 or 3, you journal about the problems. Why do I feel this way? What will actually happen? What's the best case and the worst case scenario of these many, many problems that are making me feel this way? Is it a hard conversation that I'm not having that's causing me this anxiety, stress, whatever, overthinking? And once you do that, holy shit, 70% of that bitter feeling is gone. Straight to bed, pray to God, sleep. Amazing nights of sleep. That is honestly, oh my God, bro. I forgot about journaling, but then one day it just hurt so bad. I just wanted to write down everything. And that saved me so fucking much because I got such a good night's sleep from that. So I hope this video helps. I know this video is, honestly, it's such a video that's all over the place. And I gotta stop recording straight in the morning. You can notice in my earlier videos, right, the earlier clips there, I was a little bit stressed. And I was a little bit wanting to just get this over with. But that's not the right attitude to record. And even me talking about the advice to give you to like have a better work, right? I myself haven't even got it perfect yet. Because back then, honestly, I fucked up basically. I learned something from recording this video. I have to leave a little bit of thumbnail making and a little bit of scripting so that I feel this happy enthusiasm to record the video. Because honestly today, yeah, the beginning was inspiring. We've all heard of dopamine detox before. But how do we stay dopamine detoxed? Yes, it was inspiring and it got me pumped up a little bit. But maybe midway through, I just got a little bit repetitive. And the Wim Hof effect, I did the Wim Hof exercise before this recording, right? But it started to wear off and the oxygen started to go lower and I started getting more stress, and then the video just got a little bit more shitter, a little bit more shitter, a little bit more shitter. So I guess we're learning together. I know this, no one really does this with their videos. They're all like, oh, you have to do this. I've tried and trusted this 100 times. This is the formula. Whereas I'm literally here, okay, this is the formula. I'm still learning. But this is what I've learned so far. Maybe you can try it. Try it if it works, great. But I also fucked up. So here's another mistake. All right, I learned from the mistake. Here's another lesson for you. This is basically what I'm doing right now. And so lesson I learned from myself speaking today is you gotta leave a little bit of happy shit to do before you record. And you gotta be in a relaxed state. Make sure you're in this relaxed state and you make sure you're a little bit pumped up with enthusiasm to speak. Make sure you have the mind of like super motivated and driven. And without further ado, if you want to check out, fuck, I'm not used to doing plugs, I'm sorry. If you want to check out a high ticket lean one-on-one program with me that is about fitness and how to build an insanely strong and lean bulky body, check it out in the link in the description below. In a bit, bro. I love you.